Hello, my friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Daily Dose of Stupid. This time around, I think this one's going to be a little bit more tame than some of the ones we've had in the past because there's not a whole lot of egregious stuff on here. I think it's mostly things that just sort of miff me and tick me off, but it's not like outright anger. It's more like, here we go with this again. Anyways, this time around, we're starting off with a bit of a wall of text, and this one is on the topic of Deepwoken. And when I see stuff like this nowadays, I mean, it annoyed me back in the day, but it annoys me even more now. I just can't with this stuff. Man, I remember where I had to beg for the RNG gods to give me Adept while sitting at max luck before Power 10, or else everything would be a pain to farm up and then never getting that talents I wanted. It was hell, but I loved it. It was tough and rewarding. I even bought exploits to speed around just to shave off time with progressing so I could have a stable sleep schedule, and if I got strong lefted into the void, yes, I didn't fly away from that. One, that ruined it for me, and the other dude for the funny moment. Two, it would have been stupid. 3, if I was sitting next to the edge and didn't notice a guy sneaking up to me, that's my fault. I should suck it up. I was upset for a bit, but moved on, except for my beloved Nova Tallow, my first max level. Now you just level up to max in 2 to 4 hours, then min-max and you're done. Maybe go jumping in the depths to get the same adrenaline as the past, but with people jumping into the void or going the speed of light away from you. At least it isn't figuring out how to get out of the shroom spawn area for the first time. So, just to unpack this comment, this person is obviously complaining that Deepwoken is too easy now, and it was better back in the olden days. You know, back in the olden days when he downloaded cheats in order to bypass the game. Not only did he bypass the game by downloading cheats, but he specifically would not use his cheats when somebody was about to kill him and reset his hours and hours of progress. Now, how in the world of hell does that make any sense at all? So just to be clear, you're cheating to make it take less time, but if someone comes to reset all of your progress, you just let them kill you. What? I just simply can't wrap my head around the circular logic of, I loved this so much before that I decided to cheat to not actually play the thing that I loved so much. Like, I just can't. I cannot understand that. I will never be able to understand that. And obviously, this is a very exaggerated take of the general person that I despise when it comes to the Deepwoken community, and those are the gatekeepers. The people like this who are like, it was better before when it was completely inaccessible and nobody played it and nobody could get to max level. Yeah, it was so much better before, and that's why there's more people playing now than then, right? You can have hard games, but you need to balance out those hard games with some level of accessibility so that people can actually play it. You know, your average Joe. Because when you make a game that's just completely inaccessible to your average player, well, it's just doomed to fail at that point. There's so many of these gatekeeping players that are just so stuck in their, I'm so good at this game, nobody else should be able to play it, and it makes me sick. It really, really does. It's very sad. This is coming from the Fisch game video, and I'll have another thing on Fisch game towards the end of this Daily Dose of Stupid, but I want to save it till the end, you know, bait the people into watching until the end. Watch until the end, by the way. But this person says, it ain't that bad. Sure, the gameplay is kinda boring, but it can be pretty fun if you play with friends. What I mean by that is if you play the game alone, it can be boring, unless you like the mini-games. But while you play with other people, it's fun exploring, catching different fish, and talking with others. The game kinda goes in background. It's like camping with friends. And thankfully, I don't even need to respond to this because somebody did it for me. You tried doing that outside? To which the guy responded, fair point. Yeah, you know what you could do? You could go just actually go fishing with your friends instead of playing this shitty game. That, I can hardly believe that this next comment is real. It's from the Blacktails video, the one I did on, I believe it was chapter 3. And this guy says, nah, but for real, why you glazing this game so much? You should take a look on off-platform games once in a while. Most of them are way better than Roblox games, and I learned that the hard way. And I only got one paid access game. Are you fucking kidding me? How tone deaf do you have to be to come to my channel of all the channels that you could go to for Roblox content? You came to mine and you're lecturing me. Me! The guy who still puts out reviews of games off the platform even though they criminally underperform. Me! And you lecture me for glazing a Roblox game too much because games off the platform are better. Did you just do that? No way. No way. There's no way. There's no way. This is yet another one of those things where I'm just like, did this guy even watch the same video that I created? They say, at 434, I gotta call you out on this one where you usually tell people to make their games wiki/Google free. And this comment is from my Anime Last Stand video, which for those of you who may not have seen it, it's a shitty anime tower defense game that's basically just a gambling game disguised as a tower defense game. Now, in that video, I made mention of the reason that I don't like tower defense games is that you can just sort of go in, Google the solution to the puzzle effectively, and then the game is completed. And I think that that is just, well, it's not a very good showcasing of skill, it's kind of boring, and I don't care. When the option is there to literally just bypass the game via a singular Google search, then I don't really see the point of playing the game. But this person somehow misconstrued that argument into me saying that you should just Google the solution to the puzzle every single time, which is obviously not what I'm saying. So just recently, I did a review on Metal Gear Solid 3, and that's a game with a fair few boss fights, and I made mention in that video of the fact that I didn't quite understand a lot of the boss fights, and I clearly didn't get their mechanics. Now, someone could go onto Google and look up the mechanics of the boss fight, and then complete the boss fight easier. But that being said, if they look up the answer to the boss fight, it's not a surefire win. You still need to fight the boss. And so you can know all of the right solutions and still get your ass whooped. Here's my chance. I can use Dark Souls as a good example for once instead of trashing on it. You can Google the solution to a Dark Souls boss, but it's still a Dark Souls boss. That shit's gonna be hard whether you know the quote-unquote solution or not. And that's where the fun comes in. It's a challenge, and whether or not you go to Google or not, half the time it doesn't matter. It's up to you and your own skills alone to complete that boss fight. Now, in a game like Balloons Tower Defense, for example, if I want to be able to beat one of the tracks on the hardest difficulty, I can go onto Google and I can Google directly solution to X map on X difficulty in Balloons Tower Defense, and somebody on there will show me the specific place where I need to place every single specific tower and the upgrades to get for those towers. And once I've done that, I can literally beat the hardest challenge in the entire game simply by Googling it. And that's something that I just don't like. I know there are people who do like it, that's fine. I never said that you couldn't like that. But that's why I don't like those kinds of games. Now, I don't really know how you could take that entire argument and twist it into me saying, you need to Google in order to win. Because that's what this person is saying that I am telling you. Which I'm just not. The next comment we got on here is from Pressure, and it's another one of those things where I'm glad that my community can bail me out sometimes. Okay, really hope you see this, but I just have to say, you are bad at this game. You cannot blame the game if you think footsteps behind you are just a glitch. The game gave you so much time to look behind you. That's on you. Another thing, you're oversimplifying these entities. Squid things do not one-hit kill. This game isn't survive the one-hit kills. It's a trial and error game. It's not the game's fault if you think it's frustrated. You're just bad. Talk about multiplayer. You have not played it. You don't understand. This game is trial and error. The entire point is that you are meant to die and try again. Look, if you think Pressure is horrible at gameplay, that's fine. This game is difficult and not for all, but please have actual good ponits. Does the walking simulator and what does strategy it seems like you use is the same reason why you died. You are supposed to be aware of your surroundings on high alert. Now I do want to see what you think. Oh, and this game isn't about jump scares. It's meant to make you second guess yourself. It's atmosphere. atmospheric horror, and it looks like games. Pike, these are not for, so please don't play Doors or roguelikes. Oh my god. Thankfully I got a reply from somebody that solved some of this for me. Still gonna have to talk about some more of it, but they said, for one, bad at the game. The fact that he only has 8 deaths kind of says otherwise. Yeah, I don't know how you could have missed this in the video, but I made mention of how many deaths it took me to complete the game. Basically all of them. Actually, I'm pretty sure every single one of my deaths was a one-shot kill. So in response to the game not being survive the one-hit kills, if the only thing that killed me was one-hit kills the entire round, well, don't know what else to tell you. For me, it was survive the one-hit kills, because that's the only thing that ever got me. There's like 2 enemies in the game that don't insta-kill you. I don't see where that could possibly come from. Now, in regards to the game being a trial and error game, yeah, I said that, and I said that's why it has problems. That's why it pissed me off. Because when you have a trial and error game where most of the things that are gonna kill you are things that kill you in one hit, then you can play the game for 40 minutes, get killed by something in one hit that you didn't know about beforehand, like what happened to me, and then it will piss you off, and then you'll just speedrun the rest of the game and miss stuff. There were people in the comments section, who I didn't include here, who were disappointed that I ran past certain things in the game instead of exploring the rooms. But I have to ask you, why the fuck would I be exploring the rooms if the longer I spend in a room, the higher chance something comes out to kill me? And also the fact that I just spent 40 minutes previous to the attempt I'm playing running through very similar rooms, then getting killed in one hit and having to restart from the very beginning. And then there's the idea that this is a difficult game. And frankly, I'm just gonna tell you, that's a fucking joke. Pressure is not a difficult game. Pressure is a trial and error game, and trial and error games typically are not very difficult. Because all you really need to do is learn the different enemies in the game, and once you have, it's a cakewalk. Which is exactly the kinds of things that I tried to tell you in that video. It's very similar to the previous topic we were just talking about when it comes to tower defense games. If you go into Pressure already knowing all of the enemies, you could probably beat it in like 1 or 2 attempts and feel like a professional player, because most of the stuff is trial and error, and if you already know the trial and error, then the game is not hard. So the idea that you're trying to say the game is a trial and error game and it's also hard is in of itself circular logic. That doesn't work. Like, I literally mentioned it at the end of my Pressure video. I said, if you want to win the game, here's what you do. Anytime the lights flicker, you stand next to a locker until the screen shakes and then you get in the locker. If you do that, then you will literally, and I mean literally, never get killed by any of the anklers or the pandemonium monster. They just cannot kill you if you wait until the screen shakes and get in. It works 100% of the time. If you're going into a dark room, you might as well just not even bother using your flashlight, because if you don't, your odds of getting hit by the squid monsters is basically 0, and other than that fact, there's nothing in the dark that's gonna get you. Every once in a while, there's a fake door. They're very easy to spot. They have the little sparking things next to the door, and once you know that, they're incredibly easy to avoid. And finally, every single time that you're about to enter through a door, just look behind you, and the wall guys will never be able to get you. And other than that, well, now you're just about invincible. The only challenging part in the game now is the very last part of the game where you need to go repair the circuit boards. But other than that, yeah, it's just not hard. Moving forward, I had to include at least one YBA comment. I was thinking about doing a whole Daily Dose of Stupid on YBA comments. I might still do that, but I tried to avoid them here because I didn't want that many. But I had to include this one when I saw it. I just had to. They said, they did not cook. Tusk is unusable. It has no block breaks. You can literally block everything except the beatdown and heavy punch. So, who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Come on, it can't be me. All right, fine, I'll do it. Who's gonna tell him that specs exist? I did it. Seriously though, does this guy just play without a spec? Does he just not use one? The idea that a stand can't be good because it doesn't have block breaking moves is completely asinine. It's ridiculous. I used a little bit of Tusk with my friends, and it just seems all right. Absolutely not unusable. So I think this guy's very clearly overreacting and kind of just doesn't understand the game that he's complaining about. Now we're circling back a little bit here because sometimes these comments kind of come out of order, and this is once again talking about Anime Last Stand, and it's a sentiment that I saw echoed a lot when I went back through that comment section, and it's just such a terrible take, I can't not put it on here. Is this bro's first time touching Roblox? All anime TD games are like this. All right. So then my follow-up is that good? How is that relevant to the video that I've made here? There were a lot of people that somehow thought that I was singling out Anime Last Stand specifically because it's a borderline gambling simulator. No, I'm not. Take a look at my Souls RNG videos, perhaps. But yeah, I'm no fan of borderline gambling simulators on the platform, and I'm well aware that all of the anime tower defense games are like this, and that's bad. That's a bad thing. That's not good. Maybe, instead of leaving a comment like this, you should be going to those people and being like, hey, why are all of your games shitty gambling simulators? Maybe give us an actual video game. But no. Clearly the answer is to come to my video and be like, I can't believe that he doesn't know that all of the tower defense games are like this. What an idiot. Yeah, that's productive. Good job. Now the second to last stupid is not even a comment. It's just something that I had to put it in when I heard about it. I had to. Oh, take a look at this screenshot. Oh, just take a look at it. Oh, do big studios, the ever-present owners of wonderful games like Dusty Trip, now have the ownership to Fisch. Interesting. Wait a minute. I thought Fisch was owned by the sole developer of the game, who said that it's a passion project. So passionate, in fact, that he sold it away. Who's laughing now? And the final stupid on today's docket is just so uninformed about me as a person that I love it. I fucking love it. It's from my airship assault video, and this person says pretty much this whole video was just Eclipse either not investing enough time, but also being bad. Yep, the problem with the airship assault video was that I sucked at the game. That's why I came in first place in like 4 rounds. Yep, that's why, because I'm so bad at it. Listen, I'm not one to constantly try to talk up my own achievements and gas myself up to be like, look how much better I am than you suck, right? I don't do that. It's the same reason why, despite technically being really, really good at a lot of these Roblox JoJo fighting games, I always tell you guys that I'm not good at fighting games. And the reason I do that is because I'm well aware that in the grand scheme of fighting games, I am ass at them. And the only reason that I'm good at all at the JoJo fighting games is because most of the people I'm playing against are clueless children. That's why I'm good at them. And that's something that I'm fully able to admit because I'm not some vain dipshit who thinks that he's like the best at every game that he plays. Far from it. Now that being said, if there is one genre of video games that I will always say that I am very good at, and I won't let other people tell me otherwise because the stats speak louder than words, it's first-person shooters. If you come to a video of mine and tell me that I'm bad at first-person shooters, I will laugh in your face and call you a fucking idiot, because you're a fucking idiot. Take a look at yourself. Here's my stats for Battlefield 2042. I am in the top 1% of people who have ever played this video game. Ever. That means I'm better than 99% of players. That should tell you something. I come in first place on practically every single round I play out of 64 other players in the lobby. That should tell you something. So when people come onto my airship assault video and they say that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to first-person shooters, I can't help but laugh in their face. There were several people in the comment section of that video who were talking about how I didn't understand the sensitivity problems. Do you think that I don't understand my own sensitivity at this caliber of play? Seriously? It's a joke. That's just the only way to sum it up. People who think that I'm bad at first-person shooters, I would whoop your ass at a first-person shooter. I'm sorry, the stats don't lie. Anyways, that's wrapping up today's video. I'm not doing any of the sort of palette cleanser good things because, like I said, this was one of those videos where I didn't think there was too much bad stuff, so I don't necessarily think that we need a palette cleanser, but we'll get back to that in the next one, I'm sure. Anyways, with all that being said, I am wrapping up here. So naturally, if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, don't. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.